Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're driving a 2018 BMW M4 with a manual transmission. Now, M4s are coming on the market now. People are selling their F82 M4s to get into a new M4 with the big grills. If you don't like those big grills, I got a great solution for you. The last generation, or the first generation BMW M4. We got a nicely spec'd example here, mineral gray, which looks beautiful. You can see all the metallic paint here. This is a Silverstone interior, which is almost like a very light silver, almost a white color to me. You got the 6-speed manual transmission, you got the classic BMW steering wheel, analog gauges, and it is, I think, a gorgeous, gorgeous car. One of my favorite views of the M4 is the rear view. You got those quad tailpipes, and you got really that menacing look. You have a ton of room here to store your stuff. I play ice hockey. It's a real deep trunk. I can really fit my bags in there. Plenty of room. Back seat, once you're back there, has plenty of head and leg room. Maybe a little less shoulder room, say, than the M3s, but if you really want to carry people, then obviously get the M3, exact same car, except it's 4 doors. So let's pop open the hood. You do it twice. There's no secondary latch, so just do it 2 times, and it'll automatically open up. And what I love about this engine, well, I love the turbocharged power, the 406 foot-pounds of torque. I like in the engine bay here this carbon fiber, where the new M3, M4 doesn't have that. It's got kind of like the triangle, but that carbon fiber is missing, and it's really gorgeous in this car. All right, so let's take a look at the interior. We'll start the car. All right, so you get the big M4 when you come in here. Always forget to put my seatbelt on. So this has the extended leather. You could tell by the leather here. It's also got the carbon fiber trim. It's a manual, so we start in neutral and press the start-stop button, and it fires to life. Pretty quiet for a, you know, again, it's a turbocharged 6-cylinder. It's not a V8 or anything like that. There's great aftermarket exhaust options. You can press the buttons here to play around with steering. So then you have Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort. I usually drive in Sport. You have the shocks, Sport Plus, Sport, and Comfort. Climate control is easy as can be here. You do have heated seats, no cooled seats, but heated seats. Your iDrive menu is right here, makes it very easy. This is probably the easiest car to go through. The newer ones, like my M340i xDrive 2020, is more complicated. Certainly the new M3, M4 more complicated. This is real easy. A hot day like this, you press your max AC, you get it down to cooling right away. Steering wheel, very functional. You got your cruise control, you got your telephone controls here. You can even change the radio station, whatever you want. You got your wiper stalks here, and then this goes through the trip computer. So this was just taken for gas, so that's why it says, so it's 81 degrees now, it's gonna be 90. We just put a few gallons of gas for this video. Very easy, your mirror controls here, your stereo, which is very good, the Harman Kardon. I think that's a must on any BMW. I had an E90 M3, I didn't have navigation. Back then, to get the upgraded stereo, you had to have navigation. I didn't get the navigation because I wanted the lightest sedan possible, 6-speed manual sunroof delete. And the stereo sucked, let's be honest. So you definitely want the Harman Kardon. This, as I mentioned earlier, has the extended leather interior. All right, guys, there's nothing less to do but drive it, so let's go. 6-speed manual, which is what I love. And now we're on a hill right now, right? So this doesn't roll back. So you have brake assist here. I let go of the brake, then it'll roll back, but I put the clutch in, and now it's gonna hold it for 2 seconds, 1/1002, and now I started rolling back. So very easy. If you've never driven stick before, there's really no reason not to get the manual transmission, because it will, it's pretty easy. The clutch is nice and light. Now steering is electric, so it may not have the best feel, but it'll put where you want it to go. And we're in sport steering now. There's Comfort, and then obviously Sport Plus. Special thanks to BMW Tenafly for giving me this car for a review. And check them out. They have the best prices for BMWs in New Jersey. And even if you're out of New Jersey, you could definitely, they'll ship it to you. So special thanks. All right, so let's, whoa. So you can feel that 406 foot-pounds of torque pretty immediately. I love these cars because it's so powerful. It actually, you know, the car wants to oversteer. It gets it to the, almost overwhelms the rear tires. These cars are becoming a performance bargain. Obviously, it costs good money, you know, 80 to a fully loaded new M4 with the big grills, probably about $100,000. You can get these for a fraction of those costs and have just as much performance. BMW says with this rear drive 6-speed manual, about 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. If you get the dual clutch, you're probably in the high 3s. You can easily tune these cars to make reliable power. What I would do is, instead of buying somebody else's tuned version, buy a stock version like this and do the mods yourself. The ride is pretty good. I mean, it could be sports car stiff. We're in comfort mode right now. These roads are bumpy to begin with, so even when I drove the M760, a luxury car, we were still bouncing around a lot here due to these roads. What's great about driving one of these cars is you basically are faster than every car on the road, unless they have, you know, a 911 turbo Rolls-Royce. A 911 turbo or, you know, the new M3, M4, you definitely are going to have one of the quickest cars around. So we'll take it out in the main row here. We could do a little acceleration. We'll go the opposite way of whatever this guy goes. This mineral gray is a gorgeous color. So now weight on these cars, are they heavy? Well, my M340iX drive with the all-wheel drive and the automatic transmission weighs about 3,800 pounds, maybe 3,850, somewhere in that range. And this car is manual like this, and they only come in rear drive, is about a little over 3,500 pounds. If you get the hardtop convertible with the dual clutch, that'll be the heaviest, and that's about 4,000 pounds. What I like about the M4 is it could be your daily driver. You can fit adults in the back seat. Come on, buddy, it's green. And you could also be very competitive on a track day. Wow. Make sure the engine is warm for this. Whoa. These cars are just so fast, and what's great is they're comfortable. The clutch is nice and light. You know, a lot of sports cars, when you drive them, it's so stiff. You know, it's only like a Sunday morning car. If you had to go out, you couldn't go out and get milk and take the long way home because the car is too brutal, or the stick shift is too brutal on the car. Where here, you could really use this car every day. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde personality. You don't have to really make any compromises at all. And if you need a real back seat, like I'm a commercial real estate broker, then just all you have to do is get the M3. It's the exact same car, and you'll have 4 doors. And I think it's a good looking car here. You don't have those big ugly grills. You have the small grills. I think people will be buying these cars for years to come. You have a 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged. You can make big power with the car. The aftermarket has proven these cars can make big power and be very reliable, and I think you can't beat it. I think it's honestly best of both worlds. You can get some good sounding exhaust on these cars too. Now the steering is a little softer, it's a little bit vague, but it does allow me to put the car exactly where I want it. The steering wheel has a really good thickness to it. So it does feel good in your hands holding it. Passing power for days with this car. So easy to shift. That's what I love about these cars. Some of the older cars, you know, you really had to work the clutch. It wasn't very easy to shift. This, you don't have to worry about being stopped at big hills. Clutch is nice and light. It probably doesn't give you as much feel as you want because it's so light, and the throws could be shorter and maybe a little more defined. Shifter is a little, you know, left to be desired. It's not as like an S2000. Maybe the S2000 spoiled me. It's not like the or any Porsche. I would say, you know, the Cayman or Boxster or 911 have really good throws. So this is probably lacking a little bit there. The interior is very nice quality. This extended leather is really nice. I love the carbon fiber trim. That is my favorite trim. Gas mileage isn't going to be that great, obviously. If you can stay out of the turbos, then it's fine. But I mean, who's going to stay out of the turbos? Let's be realistic. What we'll do is go up here and take it through some S-turns, see if we feel the weight. So it's not a light car by any means, but as cars have more and more safety equipment and more luxury equipment, they're only going to get heavier. So this won't be such a heavy car 5 years from now. Now this particular example only has 25,500 miles. I just love going through the gears with this car. We could change some of the settings here, so let's change the steering wheel now to Sport Plus. All right, so instantly I see there's a lot less play in the steering wheel now. It feels a lot tighter. There's some resistance when I turn it. We'll go through those S-turns when we get to them. And then we'll put it in comfort mode and see the difference there. Now, the DCT's always told you what gear you're in, but with this generation, or first generation of M4, it actually tells you what gear you're in as well. I don't think I ever had a manual transmission car. Maybe the 911 actually. But a BMW that told me what gear I was in. So I'm in 3rd gear. It's telling me I should be in 4th gear for gas mileage. Now it's telling me I should be in 6th gear for gas mileage. All right, well, if you follow it, and again, it's a 6-speed manual, if you follow what it tells you to do, then yeah, absolutely, you will get you'll get good gas mileage. All right, so we'll swing it around here and then head back to the dealership. Ooh, look at that. Like an 86 Porsche convertible. Actually, earlier than that, I would say that's an 83 or so. All right, so let's do a little acceleration here. Wow, so fast. Somebody buy this car so I don't have to. I definitely want a manual M3 or M4 from this generation. I think this would be the perfect car to have as the daily. If I got the 4 doors of the M3, it could be my real estate car, and then I could compete in the track on the weekends. And that's what I did with my E90 M3. It was all of those things. Like I said, the ride, overall is very comfortable. Now we're behind that Porsche. Now that's a gorgeous car. It's not very fast whatsoever, but it is a absolute blast to drive. Now we go into the gears here. We were in 5th gear. It was telling us to go into 6th, go into 6th. So here we are in 6th gear at 50 miles an hour at about 1,700 RPM. So that'll give us pretty decent mileage. And that's our AMG 63 GTS. We have a video of those on the channel. We just drove a red one, actually. So this, you could really get decent gas mileage here because you're under 2,000 RPMs, pretty much at highway speeds. All right, so we'll make a left here. We'll head to the dealership. Oh, wow, those are old New Jersey plates. So they had beige plates like in the 70s, and then the 80s they went to these blue plates, and now we have the beige plates again. But that is a, that's an old school plate. That car must have been in the family a long time. All right, so now we will turn here after this truck. Very easy to go first down. We have the Sport Plus steering wheel, so it was really hard almost to move the steering wheel there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it again, and now in comfort. So comfort, there's a lot more play before anything happens. Oh, look at that. We got a Bentley, 4-door Bentley going to the school. That's the way to go to school in style. Even though it's summer, I'm not sure what they'd be going there now. All right, so for these S-turns that are coming up, we're going to put it in Sport Plus steering. And I'm going to actually put it in Sport Plus suspension. Now I can feel the stiffness already. You see this car starting to bounce because these roads are terrible to begin with. They look like smooth roads, but they are certainly not. So this is kind of how I would do it on a track day. So I'm going to take it out of sport suspension because it's beating me up a little bit and go into comfort. And now I'll put the steering in comfort and we'll see what that does. Now this is 425 horsepower. If you opted for the competition package, you would get 444 horsepower. Competition package definitely has a stiffer suspension, so kind of be honest how you're going to use this car. If you're going to use it blasting up your favorite mountain road on the weekends like I do, and if you're doing a lot of track days, you probably want the competition package. But if you're going to use this more as a daily driver, then I would not get the competition package because of that extra stiffness. We always tend to buy the stiffest car and then never use it that way. Like I always see somebody buys a car, puts a roll bar racing seats, and then he's driving it to work most of the time. So always be honest with yourself how you're going to use the car. All right, guys, this is the end of our video. So special thanks to BMW of Tenafly for allowing us to drive this 2018 BMW M4 with a 6-speed manual transmission. It's on sale now. Go check it out. It's mineral gray. It's got a Silverstone interior. It's gorgeous. Check them out for any of your new or used BMW needs in Tenafly, New Jersey. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.